Alright guys, welcome back to another episode on Nature's Jewels channel. This is Mr. Crawlings coming at you. And as you can see, it's evening time. I'm actually getting ready for bed, but I saw my little girlie here, Lily, out and about. And I decided to pick her up, give her a little hold. And she's just being as sweet as can be. I do suggest this right away when you're first getting your red-eyed croc skink established at home. But as you can see, they are wonderful little pet lizards. And as long as you work with them and they learn to recognize you as their food source and the caregiver and stuff like that, they tend to be pretty nice little pet lizards. Another really nice feature with these guys, as opposed to like monitors and stuff like that, which you can teach to care for you by target feeding and stuff because they have a heavy food responses. The nice thing about the red-eyed croc skinks is that they have this really cool freeze, stay still, and you don't see me attitude. But as you can see, she knows what's going on. She knows her daddy, and she's fairly comfortable. And it's just one of the ways that you can work with these lizards and starting to socialize them and stuff like that. Now Lily is a mama. She has laid multiple eggs for me, and she is very sweet. Yes, I'm talking about you. Yes. As you can see also, she has a little bit of a nip tail. And she was a wild collected specimen, unfortunately. Not many people at this point in time have been breeding them in captivity, but hopefully we can change that, especially with a really nice individual like the one we have here. But this is exactly why I named this channel Nature's Jewels, because it's very hard sometimes to find wonderful little pet lizards. Unfortunately, a lot of stores or a lot of your big chains will sell savanna monitors and iguanas and stuff like that, and it really does wreck the experience for a lot of individuals and turns them off to the idea of having a pet lizard. This is definitely for an experienced herper only. I would not suggest red-eyed croc skinks to be your first pet lizard, or your second, or your third, or your fourth, or your fifth. But once you got a couple years under your belt with some of the more common species, I would definitely say give red-eyed croc skinks a shot, because they don't really require a ton of space. They do require a little bit more on the ambient humidity. They do love to swim. They love to dig. So a little bit larger enclosure, but as you can see from the size of these things, they're not going to take up a huge chunk of your house, like say something like an iguana or a savanna monitor. And they have really enjoyed this terrarium, and they're just a joy to keep. And I love looking at them and seeing them. And I'm giving them all sorts of yummy good things to try, huh? I still haven't been able to get them to do like a still diet. They're definitely target fed towards like moving prey. So I've only been able to get them insects and stuff like that. But I believe they would take snails. And if I could, and I've tried some monitor diets that are geared towards snails, like canna snails is one that you can also feed them, but I just haven't noticed them going after it. You know, it usually goes bad and I have to change it out often. So the best thing for these guys is keep a little dish in their container with some mealworms and some herptovite, reptivite with vitamin D3 in there, because they're not out to absorb the vitamin D. If you had a UVB bulb in there, they're not going to really get its benefits. So you're going to want that calcium with vitamin D3. And just leave a little dish with some mealworms in there as a supplement. As they come out at night, they can help themselves. Are you watching my hand as I move it around like a little Italian man? Is that what you're doing? She's so cute. I'm thinking I'm making her a little nervous with that, so I'm going to quit that whole thing out. But otherwise, yeah, just tossing some crickets in their enclosure and just try to give them some varied prey. I also really enjoy giving them like red worms and stuff like that you would use, you could pick up at like a fishing bait or tackle shop. Very high in protein, and they're just really great vitamin source for these lizards, and they love to dig up their prey. I deemed them grubivores in a previous video, but they would take grubs and waxworms, mealworms, superworms. Well, the larger male would take a superworm. She probably wouldn't. And crickets. Lily, thank you for being such a good sport this evening. You've been such a good girl. And everybody, thanks for coming and checking out our channel. I hope you enjoyed this little nature's jewel. This is Mr. Crawling signing out. Till next time, if you keep it crawling.